Carriers decide that they want to expand the network, improve it, and especially with 5G kind of up and coming, deployments are starting to ramp up. A lot of companies are investing in the infrastructure and they want to install it. They're doing network upgrades and they're getting that new equipment installed. In order to do that, you've got to get states on board, you've got to get cities and municipalities on board. There's a lot of law to that, and the FCC already has made kind of a decision on that. They passed some laws recently, and we have a situation now where Verizon may not want to pay some of those city fees, and they're pretty pissed about it. And they're actually suing a city for this reason. Stick around, learn more about the story. What's going on, guys? It is the SMT, and in today's video we're going to take a look at a story that it's pretty crazy actually, and I think it's going to be pretty far-reaching. I don't think it just affects one carrier. I think it affects many, but obviously Verizon is kind of in the mud again. All right, so to get to the story itself, Verizon and I guess we'll just say the city of Rochester, New York, are involved in some legal issues right now, perhaps an ongoing legal battle that could drag on. We'll have to wait and see how long this will be going on. Anyways, thanks to some new legislation that was officially passed in February of 2019, and I actually covered a video on this back in 2018, last year, when it was made official by the FCC. They got it cleared, put into legal action, and then it was enforced as of February this year. Anyways, this new legislation has to do with network deployment as they expand through cities, and I think this is going to be greatly affecting 5G. So here's the way the legislation's language is broken down. First of all, it has three parts. The three parts have to do with these three components. Number one, cities and states cannot overcharge and force unreasonable fees for wireless providers to put network hardware on city and or state property. So we're talking about street lights, street poles, signs and different infrastructure that is pre-existing in the cities and states. The second part to this rule or law is that cities must provide an answer and action on the clearance or denial of the application for permits to install and operate this equipment. Obviously, that has to do with the time component. Can't drag on for 2 and 3 years trying to get clearance for a small cell. So what they're basically saying is we're giving you this time frame, have a decision within 3 to 6 months, 90 days, 180 days, whatever. So it doesn't drag on. And the third part is aesthetics. Must be tolerable, but it can't be unreasonable in how it must look. So essentially, a city can't say, make it look like a Monet painting, just make it blend in so it's not an eyesore for residents and the people that, live in the city. All right, so those are the three components. Anyways, let's look at the first stipulation, which is about cities not overcharging unreasonable fees and amounts of money for that operational equipment. So Verizon is suing the city of Rochester, New York. The city is charging Verizon fees to install the 5G equipment. Verizon answers with a lawsuit on the basis that the language in the FCC's legislation from last year is not being upheld, and the city of Rochester is not being compliant, and they are at fault and charging too much money. So actually, Verizon has like a legitimate case here. I hate to protect Verizon in this, but according to the language that's put in place by the FCC, this situation could be upheld in Verizon's favor. So according to the language, Verizon might be right. However, cities and states are suing the FCC on this legislation. Washington, Oregon, California, and Arizona are all suing the FCC on this law. And then cities in Florida, Colorado, Nevada, and New York are also involved in the lawsuit against the same law. Now, there is a couple things to note here, some quotes coming from Rochester. The city of Rochester calls Verizon's lawsuit frivolous. They say that other carriers are following regulations without issue. And they say our fees are comparable to other cities. So they're basically saying our fees are fine. You guys just appear not to want to pay them. Verizon intends to pay about $270 per year for operating the equipment and the installation of it. So they're basically saying this is how much we're willing to pay and this is the market price. And they're saying that the city of Rochester is overcharging them. to give you guys kind of an idea of what's happening here, Verizon says that the city wants them to pay $10,000 for installing 2,500 feet of fiber, and the Verizon will be paying $5,000 annually for the operation of the hardware. And of course, the longer the fiber deployment, the cheaper the per foot rate. So installing, 2,500 feet of fiber or whatever, I mean, it all depends on how much feet they lay. And obviously with 5G, you're going to need a lot of fiber. There's a lot of hardware involved for deploying 5G as well as LTE. So Verizon only willing to pay $270 per year. The city of Rochester is Verizon claiming that the city wants to charge them $1,500 annually, which Verizon is basically saying unfair. Now, here's why I feel like this story is important. Verizon is not complying. According to Rochester, all carriers are complying. Is Verizon legitimately basically saying that we're being picked on, or they're the only company that's speaking up? But in the language of the law, I feel like Verizon has a legit chance, and we all know that the FCC loves its carriers, especially Verizon. There's a strong connection between Ajit Pai, the chair of the FCC, and Verizon. He was a lawyer for Verizon before he became the FCC chair. So, yes, Verizon has a leg to stand on, although, cities and states are suing the FCC's laws here. So, I mean, this is very, very complicated, and there's a lot going on here. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. You guys kind of know where I stand with this. I think this is going to be an ongoing story and development that we should expect more from the FCC side, from the states and the city side, as well as the carriers like Verizon. You guys drop me a line in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think about this. I think this is a great talking point. So I want to give a big shout out to the Discord community. Big shout out to the patrons over on the SMT Patreon. Links in the description below for those communities if you'd like to join or participate. Also, if you'd like to support production here on the SMT YouTube channel, there is a PayPal share link in the description box as well for an occasional or small monetary donation to support production here on the SMT YouTube channel. Anyways, please, by all means, go ahead and like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure you are bell notified and activate that bell so you never miss an upload from the SMT YouTube channel. That's it for this one. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. I am the SMT, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.